𝗃𝗂𝗃𝗀𝗀.
Cool!
Hey everyone, it's 𝗃𝗲𝗀𝗃, and welcome back to another video with the return of my Nintendo update series. Yeah, it's been a long while since one of these. I mostly put this series on the back burner because it's very clear to me that my Nintendo videos don't do as well as my Sonic ones to be dedicating series like this to them. But I've decided to bring it back because I have a lot of Nintendo news that I want to cover today, between giving my own personal thoughts on the last Nintendo Direct, the recent reveal of the 9th generation of Pokémon, and other things that could be big pointers towards what Nintendo's future is. So without any more hesitation, let's get started. So the obvious first topic to cover is the February 9th Nintendo Direct of this year. And overall, I think it was a very eventful Direct for sure. There was no shortage of game announcements for the Switch, and considering how stacked 2022 has set up to be for a while now, it's looking like this will be a year that could finally rival the Switch's mostly agreed upon best year, 2017. However, while this Direct had a lot of cool little announcements, I feel like many of this Direct's key announcements left me feeling very mixed, as if every good thing that was shown to us had to come with some sort of negative catch, which is fitting considering Nintendo is the king of monkey's paw when it comes to companies. The first announcement off the bat was a new Fire Emblem game, which should theoretically make sense given how speculation for the next Fire Emblem has been going on for a while. But it wasn't the Fire Emblem game you would expect, as it was just another Fire Emblem Warriors game by Koei Tecmo that is now inspired by Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now, that's not the absolute worst idea for a game on paper, but I don't know. It was just a bizarre game reveal to me, considering how mediocre Fire Emblem Warriors ended up feeling. I was hoping that Koei would move on to giving another Nintendo series a chance at the Warriors formula. You all know how much I've been dying to see something like a Mario or Kirby inspired Warriors game, because I just think there's a lot more potential to do some really fun stuff with those worlds and characters. And it could especially be fun trying to mix it all with the gameplay each series is known for. But that's something I'll have to keep dreaming about, I guess. The next highlight was the reveal of a new Mario Strikers game, which my thought to that was, finally! It is so overdue that Mario Strikers make a comeback, as it's arguably the best and most unique of the Mario sports spin-off games. However, I do have my concerns and mixed thoughts here too, because I can't help but immediately fear that the infamous New Super Mario Bros. Curse is going to strike again full force. Now, we do have a lot of that unique Strikers aesthetic intact, with the badass Strikers art style returning, the characters being more aggressive, and the style feeling different from other Mario games again. But I can just feel touches of that New Super Mario Bros. Curse, such as the settings not being that interesting so far, the character roster being generic, replacing the Kremlin goalies with freaking Boom Boom, etc. It's a bit worrying, but I guess we'll just wait and see what happens. All I know is, Daisy had better be in there. How do you reveal a Strikers comeback and not show off Daisy? The suffering Nintendo makes us Daisy fans go through, I swear. Let's see what else happened. Splatoon 3 got a new trailer, but it didn't feel all too remarkable to me, as I feel like Splatoon 3 really needs a new mode that'll separate it a lot from Splatoon 2, as Splatoon 2 already felt very similar to the previous one, but I barely play Splatoon, so what do I know? 𝗵𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃 is getting a remake, which surprised me because seeing classic SNES RPGs getting remade just hurts me. as it makes me wish more of my favorite games got very faithful and expansive remakes too. Speaking of SNES RPGs, Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings finally made their way to NSO after so many dry and empty months. It's so ridiculous beyond words that it took these games so long to bring to the system, but better late than never, I guess. We even got little promotional videos for them, including one by 𝗃𝗏𝗃 expressing his joy to see the games out again. It really makes me happy, but also sad, because I wish 𝗵𝗿𝗹𝗁 could join them, but yeah, we all know the story there. Honestly, even though nothing will beat the 𝗵𝗿𝗃 fan translation, it would be nice just to have all 3 games side by side on one official platform, and give the series the proper closure it's been long overdue. But I'll stop myself from yet another Earthbound rant and move along. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, freaking 𝗃𝗀𝗄𝗏 came back from the dead out of nowhere with some remakes of his games, which just depresses me in the sense that we really have more gameplay from a new 𝗃𝗀𝗄𝗏 game out here before Sonic Frontiers gameplay. Depressing. But yeah, big congrats to 𝗃𝗀𝗄𝗏 fans. I know how it feels to be in a long drought period of pain. Trust me. One big reveal that we got that I thought was pretty neat was the reveal of Nintendo Switch Sports, a spiritual successor to the Wii Sports games, which I actually thought was cool. Yeah, normally I wouldn't be a guy to praise something that isn't one of the more substantial Nintendo IPs, but I do miss Nintendo's more wacky side, and seeing Nintendo officials playing volleyball with Joy-Cons took me back to those simpler times. Of course, even an announcement like this had to have some drawbacks, such as the game needing post-launch updates to add stuff like new sports and extra control options, which is a little dumb, not going to lie. But the big outrage was not any of that stuff, but the fact that the Miis are no longer the poster boys. Now we have these avatars that look like a hybrid between Xbox 360 avatars and Inklings. Luckily, Mii still seem to be around based on that gameplay showcase, but here's hoping you can play as them in all sports easily. Honestly, Miis aren't the most amazingly designed characters anyway, let's be honest. But they have such a strong nostalgic pull with them, so I feel like trying to replace them at this point is useless. But I get it, considering Nintendo's attempts at moving away from the Wii branding. Some last minor things to mention is Metroid Dread got updates, which is cool, still need to buy and play that. Portal is coming to Switch, cool. And they reminded us Kingdom Hearts is on Switch through the cloud versions that all the reviews make clear are really bad ports. Pain. Endless pain. The last announcement of the Direct was Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which I bring up now because I don't have much to say on it. It looks really good, and it's just crazy to see that Xenoblade is now a full trilogy on Nintendo Switch. I should probably beat at least one before the 4th one drops. But now, it's time for the big one. The topic that was extremely divisive and left people disagreeing hard with my critical point of view. This being the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. That's right, instead of the long anticipated Mario Kart 9, like everyone has speculated for years, we got the reveal that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe will just be getting 2 more years of DLC. And this left me feeling extremely divisive, mostly leaning on the negative side, and I clashed a lot with people over this reveal. So I'm going to use this part of the video to give my full opinions and explanation for why I felt the way that I did about this reveal. Now on paper, a lot about this reveal is really cool. We are getting 48 new tracks from across the entire Mario Kart series, including Mario Kart Tour, add it to the best Mario Kart game. And I cannot stress enough how good that alone is, as it gives us a chance to see some great tracks in HD, including Mario Kart Tour's very unique tracks. It's also very fairly priced, as it's even free with the NSO expansion, which it's the expansion, yes, but that's a heck lot more fair than them locking Animal Crossing content that should have been in the base game on it. But here's where my big problems come in. We have been playing Mario Kart 8 for almost a decade, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for half a decade. I love Mario Kart 8, but the problem wasn't just it not getting new content. It was us getting burned out on the same game because of how it's been the only HD Mario Kart experience we've had for years. If we were still going to be stuck with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as the Switch's definitive Mario Kart, this should have been dropped a few years ago, especially with the amount of dry Nintendo Switch months it could have filled, instead of so many months of silence. This is like when they updated Super Mario Party long after its hype had died out, only to drop Mario Party Superstars. Granted, this confirms we will not be seeing Mario Kart 9 for a hot minute now, but that just makes things worse to me. I think a brand new Mario Kart experience with some new mechanics, new items, new vehicles, and especially a fresh new character roster is overdue. But now, we know we're going to be left dry for potentially 2 years on that stuff, in place of just replaying Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but with new courses. It'd be like if Smash Ultimate had announced DLC almost a decade after release, but with no new characters or other improvements, just new stages. So the people who are disappointed in this announcement 100% have a right to feel this way. Just because we're getting some kind of new content doesn't mean they made the best decisions in doing so. But oh well, I guess I'll just be getting this through my NSO expansion and enjoying it. I really do wish we at least got those new characters, man, as you all know how passionate I was about that in my next Mario Kart Talk series. But yeah, far from a terrible Direct, as it had some great announcements, but there were just little hit or miss decisions like the Mario Kart stuff that held it back a bit for me. Save for Xenoblade Free, the only announcement that didn't leave me personally feeling mixed or dry was Kirby, because Kirby in the Forgotten Land continues to not miss at all with its new reveals, except for that one character design that caused a bit of a stir, but moving on. So with the discussion on the Direct done, we can talk about the most recent big Nintendo reveals, being the official reveal of Generation 9 of Pokémon. That's right, we learned that despite Game Freak dropping Pokémon Legends Arceus this year, they're not missing a beat, and are dropping a duo of games this year with Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet, open world 3D games set in a region heavily inspired by Spain this time. My impression so far? Honestly, I have not much to say in negatives or positives heavily, as when a new generation of Pokemon starts, I always go into it open-minded and hoping for the best. I think the starters look okay. The Grass Cat is the best designed one to me, as the other two are just 𝗵𝗂𝗶𝗰 and Donald Duck to me. And I give them these nicknames because, man, I need time to get used to those names. But I think the Pokemon community always has that phase where they're divisive on starters and claim the series designs are getting worse, only for it to blow over. The protagonist designs, on the other hand, not gonna lie, are not that great. They look more like NPC characters than Pokemon protagonist characters. And them having the same design is pretty lame, because the male and female trainers having different styles always helped add personality to their designs to me. These just look so bland. The visuals are pretty interesting though, as they look like a mix between Pokken and new Pokemon Snap when it comes to adding some extra shine to the textures. And the main locations we've seen so far look pretty nice. It's kind of funny because some shots remind me of Delfino Plaza, I swear. Some were disappointed that we're in another European-based region, but hey, it's not impossible for your dream region next time. There's 7 continents in this world, and 4 of the existing regions are based on Japan alone. Being unbalanced in region inspiration isn't a new thing for Pokemon. But okay, again, to sum up my overall impressions, everything just looks okay to me so far. Not too amazing, but not too terrible either. I'm of course very skeptical considering my mixed thoughts with Pokemon lately, which you can hear more about from my big Carefree Rants Pokemon video. There is also a lot of divisiveness from Gen 9 being announced so soon, considering we've barely been a month away from Legends Arceus. It doesn't feel like we've had time to let Gen 8 wrap up and marinate. Time for Game Freak to really learn from their mistakes in the last few generations, etc. And that leaves me feeling a bit worried. Also, these games dropping in 2022 makes me worry for other Nintendo releases. This year is stacked, so I'm not worried based on what we know, but I have to wonder if Nintendo pushed for Gen 9 to be out so soon because they fear that some releases will get pushed back, such as Bayonetta 3 or Breath of the Wild 2. Personally, I could live with waiting a little bit more time for those games given how my wallet has just been getting destroyed lately, but potentially up to another year? A bit of a yikes there. But with that brings today's discussion to an end. Overall, despite being mixed on many things when it comes to Nintendo themselves, especially when they continue to occasionally make baffling, boneheaded decisions, I think their 2022 looks solid. And this doesn't even factor into how their summer Nintendo Direct could go, as there's potential for some fire announcements there too, which I'll talk about if I do my yearly E3 predictions video. But for today, I'm done. If you made it to this point of the video, thank you for watching all the way until the end. What do you think about Nintendo's lineup in 2022 so far? What games are you most excited to play? Let me know in the comments below. And be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new to it, and follow my additional social media such as my newly revived Twitch and my Twitter for more content and updates. This has been 𝗃𝗂𝗀𝗆, and I'm out. Peace.